While the king of YouTube tech community Linus Sebastian is trying to get 60 FPS at ultra settings in 4K from his RTX 3090, what about us peasants with GTX 1650 notebooks? Can we even dream to play Cyberpunk 2077 at 60 FPS on the GTX 1650? Well, what do you think? The answer is a resounding no. No, the GTX 1650 cannot run Cyberpunk 2077 at 60 FPS, at least not in a way that is enjoyable. But can we get an overall reasonably enjoyable experience out of our 1650 notebooks? Definitely yes. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get to our testing procedure. So the notebook we are testing is the HP Pavilion Gaming 15 EC1024AX model, featuring the Ryzen 5 4600H and NVIDIA GTX 1650 with 4GB of GDDR6 memory. And for the RAM configuration, we have tested with both 8GB 3200MHz RAM in single channel, which is stock with this laptop, and with 16GB in dual channel but at 2666 MHz. Now why 2666 MHz you ask? I'll explain it later on in the video. We are using the latest NVIDIA drivers at the time of making this video, that is version 460.79. So I mainly tested the performance in two different scenes that will represent the gaming experience in a more realistic way. One is in the crowded market-like region where you have to talk with Jackie. This place has a lot of NPCs, and the other is in the open world just outside the marketplace. I have tested the game in the following settings: 1080p using low preset and 1080p using custom settings. And then at the end I'll share you the settings which will give you the most enjoyable experience. And I've also done the entire testing 3 times, once with single channel RAM and then with dual channel RAM. Here is the low settings preset. And here are the custom settings that I have selected. Both have VSync on with 60 FPS cap to prevent the terrible screen tearing. Turning off VSync ruins the experience as we don't gain any more FPS but introduce a lot of screen tearing. Now keep in mind guys, this game is very dynamic, so it's difficult to compare FPS between different runs, but I have tried my best to get repeatable results. So first up, 1080p low settings in the crowded area. We get an average of 33 FPS with 1% lows of 22 and 0.1% lows of just 8, indicating some stutters. We are definitely running into a memory limitation as the game is almost pushing 7GB of RAM. Now, can I confess something? In low settings, Cyberpunk 2077 looks absolutely disgusting. There is no way this sightseeing type of game can be enjoyable if it looks like this. The NPC models look like polygons and take a lot of time to fully load up. Texture pop-ins are plenty. GTA 5 at low settings, which is a 7-year-old game right now, looks way better than this even in low settings. Now moving on to the open world driving scene, here we get an average FPS of 42, 1% lows of 34 and 0.1% lows of 18, indicating the experience is better. Once again, more RAM should definitely help, and the game, as I have said earlier, looks absolutely bad in low settings. Now let's take a look how my custom settings fare. So in this crowded area we get an average FPS of 31. So only a loss of about 2 FPS, which is margin of error considering this game is very dynamic. Not much change in personnel figures, which shows we are memory limited. Now I'm not sure if you can make it out from the video, but the graphics look so much better. It's night and day difference. Now it looks like a 2020 game, much better lighting, ambient occlusion, shadows, lens flares, NPCs look so much better with the rare texture pop-ins. This is overall a much more enjoyable experience in my opinion. Now the same settings, but in the open world driving scene, we do see a substantial drop in average FPS from 42 FPS down to 32 FPS. But the percentile figures are quite good, indicating not many stutters. So Even though we dropped our average FPS quite significantly, the world looks substantially better. In case of the low settings, the graphics look terrible and in no way justified just 42 FPS. The 32 FPS average is justifiable, and once again, in a sightseeing game like this experience is so much better. Alright, now let's upgrade the RAM. Now I don't have an 8GB 31MHz RAM lying around and I cannot afford to buy one right now. So instead I use the RAM which I purchased for my Acer Predator Helios 300 recently, which is an 8GB of DDR4 2666MHz RAM at CL90, and I installed it in the Pavilion, which comes with a single channel 8GB DDR4 31MHz RAM at CL22. So overall the system is now running 16GB of RAM in dual channel at 2666MHz. And guys, I don't think 31MHz will improve the performance significantly, as the game and the Ryzen 5 4600H is already pushing the mere 1650 to its limits. It's not like we're running high-end RTX cards, so I don't think it will make much of a difference. Now back to the results, now with dual channel RAM configuration. So at 1080p low settings in the crowded area, we see a nice bump in average FPS from 33 FPS to 38 FPS, and big improvements in percentile figures, especially in the 0.1% lows went from 8 FPS to 24 FPS, indicating a much smoother experience. And you can see we went from using 7GB of RAM to now over 9GB of RAM, over 9000. Same settings, but in the open world driving scene, our average FPS is the same more or less, but our 0.1% lows went from 18 FPS to 31 FPS. Once again, a much smoother experience. RAM usage has also increased, as you can see. Now let's see how the custom settings fare in the dual channel configuration mode. So in the crowded area, our average FPS is still similar, but we gained a big increase in 0.1% lows from 5 FPS to 21 FPS. Once again, more than 9GB of RAM is being used. Lastly, same settings but in the open world area, we gained 2 FPS on average, but the percentile figures are similar. Although I must say during this run there were a lot more NPC vehicles on the road, so there is nothing I can do. This game is quite dynamic, so it's not comparable in every run. Now, as I promised, the best way to experience this game on a GTX 1650 notebook is to play this at 1600 by 900 resolution with my custom settings. This gives us the best combination of image fidelity and smoothness. 60 FPS is desirable, but for a sightseeing game like this, I don't think high frame rate is a necessity. Visual fidelity is more important in my opinion. So yeah, that's it for this video guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be doing a full gaming performance review of the HP Pavilion, both with single channel RAM and with dual channel RAM. And in the meantime, watch my CPU stress test review of this laptop. So yeah, like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.